Now on CoastTV News.
Highway Help, Delaware is looking for feedback to steer future road safety efforts. How you can get involved. Tribute Transformation, Ellendale gives the green light to revamp a meaningful Veterans Memorial. We'll tell you what's in the works. And a deportation dispute. A Maryland man wrongly sent to El Salvador gets another day in court, and supporters rally behind him.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A Maryland man deported by mistake, and today a judge weighing in on his case. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with a hearing in the case of the Maryland man who the Trump administration mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The government has claimed that he is part of the MS-13 gang, which his attorneys deny. And despite a Supreme Court ruling that the U.S. must facilitate his return, the administration says it can't. And as Sherelle Hubbard reports today, a federal judge firmly rejected the Trump administration's argument.
Bring Kilmer home! Bring Kilmer home!
Crowds rallied outside a U.S. District Court in Greenbelt, Maryland. Kilmer Armando Abrego Garcia supporters and his wife Jennifer calling for his return while he sits in prison in El Salvador.
I will not stop fighting until I see my husband alive.
His case marks the first time the Trump administration has admitted to mistakenly deporting someone. Despite admitting to the mistake, calling it an administrative error, the White House has maintained that the U.S. has no power to return him.
Based on the sensationalism of many of the people in this room, you would think we deported a candidate for Father of the Year.
The hearing comes days after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the government must facilitate his return. At Tuesday's hearing, the judge, an appointee of former President Barack Obama, said she would issue a written order that expands on the definition of the word facilitate.
The people, united, will never be defeated.
Many people are questioning the constitutionality of the Trump administration's deportation tactics.
The Trump administration itself has admitted that he was abducted and sent to this prison in error, and he should get his due process.
An immigration judge granted Abrego Garcia protected status in 2019, which means the government should not have had the right to deport him to El Salvador. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And new tonight, U.S. Senator for Maryland Chris Van Hollen, who we just heard from, he is heading to El Salvador tomorrow morning. In a statement, he said, quote, "My hope is to visit Kilmer and check on his well-being and to hold constructive conversations with government officials around his release," unquote. Moving on now, the Delaware Office of Highway Safety is turning to the public for help, hoping to make roads safer. Today was the first of 4 public forums giving neighbors across the state a chance to share their biggest concerns about road safety. From speeding to distracted driving, no topic was off the table, and officials say that while traffic fatalities have been on a downward trend, meetings like tonight's help keep that momentum going.
We want people to feel like they're being heard. We want to take what your traffic concerns are and turn it into maybe a new campaign to help change driver behavior. We want to see safer behaviors out on the roadways.
And for some more information about those meetings and the locations and times, you can visit the Delaware Office of Highway Safety's website. And tonight, DelDOT hosted a public meeting to gather input on planned upgrades to Plantation Road. That's near Lewis. The project is still in early design, but plans include roundabouts, turn lanes, curbs, and bike and walking paths. Community members brought up several concerns at tonight's meeting.
My concerns are, how are we going to get in and out of our development? I'm on the east side, so I can't speak for the other side, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be really difficult.
It's a big part of the design process is hearing from the public. These are the guys that drive the road and use the road, walk the road, every day. So it's important information for us. It really does drive the design. Some key decisions get made.
And staying in Lewis, on your screen now is the entrance to Nassau Commons Boulevard off of Route 9. It will close the next 2 months for construction. The project includes a full roadway reconstruction, water main upgrades, and storm drain installation. But some people are worried about the work backing up the already increasingly busy connecting roads into the summer season.
If it backs up traffic on 9, that's more inconvenient, but other than that, I'd rather they do it right maybe the first time.
And it's important to note this is not a DelDOT project, but the planning agency is planning on installing a new traffic light at the intersection of the Nassau Commons and Route 9. And now we're taking a live look outside into Lewis, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a check on our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Christina. And we have very breezy conditions right now, and that's going to be the cornerstone of our concern for the next 24-hour period as far as our meteorological concerns are concerned. We're going to drop down to 48 degrees by 3 o'clock with increasing cloud cover for late tonight. Temperatures right now in the 50s. We're looking at 55 right now in Bethany Beach, 55 for this, actually in portions of Rehoboth. But look at some of the wind max that we have. A 33-mile-per-hour wind max for us in Ocean City, a 37-mile-per-hour wind max gust in Salisbury, and a 36-mile-per-hour wind gust for us in Cambridge. Coming up, we're going to be talking about some different areas that we've been tracking the winds today and just how breezy it's going to be tomorrow.
Thank you, Paul. Well, on your screen now is a war memorial in Ellendale. It's going to get a huge upgrade. New tonight, Town Council approved plans to enhance the site and the surrounding area. The project will be completed in 4 phases, and the town says it may take a while. CoastTV reporter Brendan Conroy is live tonight in Ellendale. Brendan, you're at the site now. What can you show us there?
Christina, take a look at these shrubs right here. Now, this is what's going to be taken care of in the first phase of the project. They're going to remove these shrubs, make the beds look a lot nicer so that they can add irrigation. And when they do add more plants and topiary later down the line, that can be maintained for years to come. Now, all this work, it's a collaboration between Bellaterra and a local veteran. This is the War Memorial in Ellendale currently. And according to meeting documents from Bellaterra Landscaping, this is what it will look like when all phases are complete.
I wanted to grab the attention of people who are walking by and maybe not even know it's there.
Dale Annis is part of the Community Outreach Committee and covers veteran affairs as he is one. He says a project like this means a lot to him.
It gives veterans a place to go and reflect. Even though I personally never served with any of these individuals that are there, I still feel a connection to them.
Tony Adamano lives in Ellendale with his wife Terry. He tells CoastTV this memorial represents all the Ellendale veterans.
Well, we still have men and women out in the field today fighting for this country, and they may not come home. And so this is ongoing. So it needs to be respected in that way.
Ashley Games with Bellaterra Landscaping was unable to make the meeting tonight, but tells me that this initiative embodies their dedication to benevolence and their goal of enhancing the community with beautiful spaces for this generation and future generations to see. While it won't be immediate or all at once, a new makeover is on the way for the Ellendale War Memorial. One of the concerns brought up by people at the meeting was that the impact cost of the project would be too high. But Town Council says that there is money set aside for this War Memorial project in particular. And Ashley Games from Bellaterra says she's thrilled with the results and can't wait to get started on Phase 1. Reporting live in Ellendale, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
Thank you, Brendan. Well, crews are in the final stretch of construction on the new Beach Patrol headquarters in Rehoboth Beach. In an update today, the city says the contractor is working to complete the project over the next 35 days. Officials say some of the last steps on the outside include siding, landscaping, and sidewalks. Tiling and drywall also on the to-do list. The city says the project is running about $750,000 over budget to meet the mid-May deadline. Well, development on Delmarva, we're talking about it a lot, this time in Georgetown, where one group wants to see a plot of land rezoned so that more homes can fit in an existing area. Grayway Developers LLC says if this land on your screen is rezoned, it would go from 16 plots to 78 plots, which would be used for single-family homes. They also claim that would make the properties more affordable. But one person CoastTV News spoke with says even though the town is crowded, more housing is needed.
It would be a good way to go because we have a lot of people here and we definitely need more housing for ones that can't afford the more expensive ones that are coming up now.
And the ordinance is open for public comment until the next town council meeting. The second reading and potential adoption of this ordinance, that's scheduled for April 28th. Milford's historic firehouse will soon be a new place to call home. The building on North Church Street has served many purposes over the years, but it has been empty for about a decade now. Soon it will be 15 workforce apartments. That means rent is income-based and only available to qualified applicants. Now, the manager of the project, Dan Bond, he says this is revitalizing an important piece of the city's history.
The building is structurally in very good shape, so it'd be a shame to tear it down. In fact, it'd be very expensive to tear it down.
And according to Bond, there will be 15 parking spots, a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, and the whole building will be wheelchair accessible. And we are just getting started tonight. Coming up ahead, an empty seat in the House chamber. We have the latest on the whereabouts of District 20 Representative Stell Parker Selby. Plus, Parker Selby's former opponent now back on the campaign trail.
Well, here's a look at the brave forecast. In Cambridge, you're going to go from 60, very breezy 60 to 63, up to 71. Look for very windy conditions in Crisfield on Wednesday as well. Your full forecast coming right up. So we're a little bit breezy now. We're going to become extremely windy for tomorrow, but we'll eventually warm up. So I do have a bit of a silver lining in the midst of this somewhat cloudy kind of a forecast. First of all, our Irish Eyes camera showing us that we're going to fall to 48 degrees by 3 o'clock in the morning with scattered cloud cover, but we'll see increasing cloud cover as we get into the early morning hours going into Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be very, very windy, similar to today. Actually, to be honest, between you and me, a little bit worse, to be quite honest. It's 54 degrees right now in Milton, Georgetown, as well as Seaford. 53 degrees currently for us actually in Delmar. Here's a look at some of the wind gusts that we recorded earlier today. 33 mile per hour wind gusts recorded in Ocean City as well as Georgetown, and some other locations that we tracked and updated the numbers for you. A 35 mile per hour wind gust in Slaughter Beach. We had a 33 that we recorded later this evening in Seaford. 31 in Greenwood, Harrison, and Adamsville. 25 mile per hour gust in Milford. And Prime Hook, 26 mile per hour gusts. Gale warnings are active in Slaughter Beach, Broadkill Beach, Lewis. It's talking about 40 mile per hour wind gusts. It's also a concern for us until 2 o'clock in the morning for Dewey Beach, Ocean View, Fenwick Island. Now, we also have that concern over towards Crisfield as well as Castle Haven. So we're staying breezy across the entire Delmarva Peninsula in general overall. But we're seeing what precipitation we had has moved out of the way. The cold front's out of the way. So we'll have a great deal of clearing that happens tomorrow. But it is still going to stay robust as far as the winds are concerned. Right now, they're pushing out of the northwest with a 30 mile per hour gust in Seaford just recently recorded. Our expectation as far as our futurecast is concerned, winds will start turning a little more westerly, but we're looking at 37 to 38 mile per hour wind gusts for us for Wednesday afternoon until 7 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, things will begin to die down and the winds will kind of back off. We will have clear skies for the most part. Temperatures climbing to near 60 degrees, but just to be honest about it, won't feel like it because of this. Winds at about 35 mile per hour gust or more. Temperatures staying in the upper 50s, near 60 degrees across the entire Delmarva Peninsula. If not at 60, slightly above or slightly below. Then for the next 3 days, we'll get a lot of sunshine on Thursday with Chincoteague and Assateague. Temperatures between 62 and 59 degrees. We'll warm to 59 in Ocean City on Thursday, 62 and sunshine on Thursday for Fenwick Island, and we'll climb to 60 in Lewis with sunshine on Thursday. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast. Good news is we're going to warm up to 71 degrees on Friday, 81 on Saturday. We'll drop by 10 degrees, but we'll still have enough oomph to still hold into the 70s, even though it'll be cloudy on Easter Day.
Thank you again, Paul. We appreciate it. Well, Representative Stell Parker Selby remains absent from the legislature months after an unspecified medical event this winter, weeks after politicians said they looked forward to seeing Parker Selby back soon. And new tonight, a communications employee with the House Democrats says, to her understanding, Representative Parker Selby is on the road to recovery and is responding to constituent emails. However, constituents we spoke with say they've reached out but haven't heard back. House Republicans tell us they don't know anything new, but one thing is for sure, the session is about halfway over and District 20's representative has not been in Legislative Hall for 1 day. And some background on the absence of Stell Parker Selby in November 2024. That's when Parker Selby was re-elected to the House for a second term. What we know about her situation is that she sent a letter in January saying she would not be present for the month of January due to a medical event. We don't know what the medical event is, but we do know she is in a wheelchair, seen on your screen now. She was not previously. She has since missed over 140 votes for the 20th district. And the woman who ran against Parker Selby in 2024, Nikki Miller, is running again. In 2024, Miller ran as a Republican to represent District 20. She lost by just 245 votes. And according to her official Facebook page, she recently kicked off her campaign for 2026, running for that same seat. And this does bring us to our CoastTV poll tonight. We want to know what matters most in a local representative. Let's take a look at the results, see what you guys think. Looks like 67% say their voting record, 26% say accessibility, just a few say community presence or transparency. You can make your voice heard on this vote. We want to know what you think, so head over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app and you can vote. Coming up next here on Coast TV News at 11, free Wi-Fi at 30,000 feet. American Airlines making it happen, but there is a catch. Looks like Sam's Club is getting a huge makeover. The warehouse chain says all of its 600 existing stores will be remodeled. The details were announced during Walmart's 2025 investment community meeting. Walmart owns Sam's Club, and the company says the renovated stores will include scan and go, as well as the ability to ship your purchases directly to your home. Sam's Club is also planning to open 15 new clubs every year for the next decade. The company says its goal is to double membership, sales, and profit. Well, more travelers will soon be able to surf the web while soaring among the clouds. American Airlines announced free Wi-Fi access will be offered on the majority of its flights starting in January 2026, but it's not for everyone. The perk will only be available to members of the airline's loyalty program. Officials say AT&T will back the new service by installing equipment on the planes. Well, the dream of home ownership is becoming increasingly elusive as the age of first-time home buyers is now at a record high. And as NBC's Christine Romans reports, younger Americans are getting priced out.
Ready to see the house?
Yeah. At the age of 37, Hanmi Lee is in the market now to buy her first home. She's in the suburbs of Philadelphia with her husband David and their 7-year-old daughter Luna. Their homeownership dreams delayed.
Did you ever think you guys would be in your 30s and still renting?
I definitely took my time to think about buying a house, and then now I'm just regretting waiting.
For younger Americans, homeownership is increasingly out of reach. In the 1980s, the median age of first-time homebuyers was 29. By 2023, 35, and last year spiking to 38 years old. The door closed to many by high prices, low inventory, and mortgage rates hovering around 7%.
No one in their young 20s are buying homes.
Real estate agent Ricky Voong says conditions are the toughest he's ever seen. Last month, the median monthly payment for homeowners hit an all-time high of $2,800. Roughly 70% of American households can't afford a $400,000 home. The national median sales price? Almost $420,000.
So over here is our dining area, but it's limited. We're limited on space.
Hanmi, who works in insurance, and David, a police officer, have outgrown the 2-bedroom townhome they currently rent. They'd also like a backyard for their dog, Tank, and more space for another child.
And what if it's not a girl? With the age gap, too, they would want their own rooms.
They've been searching for 2 years now.
And they said, oh, just give it a couple months, the market's going to change, this and that, but it's just...
It hasn't.
It hasn't changed for the better.
Homes in their daughter Luna's school district are in high demand.
The competition makes it hard, makes it difficult, for sure.
Bidding wars driving prices in their area sky high. That house they were touring previously sold in 2019 for $209,000. The price today?
This is listed at almost a $500,000 house.
Out of the price range for Hanmi and David. Their dream of homeownership delayed but not diminished, and Luna already in architect mode.
I think I want like this bed that has a slide and a ladder and like a fire under it.
Get right on that, Daphne.
Yeah.
Christine Romans, NBC News, Lansdale, Pennsylvania.
Coming up in sports, a cross-conference clash in Georgetown. The Delmarva Sports Network will have the highlights. And coming up, new research on the risk of smoking and vaping. What experts want you to know.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. Not all that good because it's going to be extremely blustery and temperatures in the 50s, but it's still going to feel like 40 degrees.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The Federal Drug Administration is warning of fake Ozempic, saying it could pose a safety risk. The FDA and Ozempic drug maker Novo Nordisk have found counterfeit vials of the weight loss drug being sold to consumers. The labels on those counterfeit products have a real lot number PAR0362, and they also have a fake serial number. The fake serial number begins with the first 8 digits 51746517. Now, if the real lot number is coupled with that fake serial number, the product is counterfeit and should not be used. In health news, it is a hard habit to kick, but smokers who turn to electronic cigarettes to help them quit using traditional cigarettes may not be helping their health. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at a study released today that finds dual use of these products carries the same risk as cigarettes alone.
It's a common way to cut back, but if you think vaping while continuing to use traditional cigarettes is a healthier route, American Cancer Society researchers urge you to think again.
The goal really should be to get to zero smoking, zero tobacco use.
In a new study released today, researchers analyzed data from more than 2,600 adult smokers who reported dual use of cigarettes and e-cigarettes and compared them with those who used just one of those products. They found those who used both were exposed to the same tobacco-related nicotine and toxins as they would be if only using traditional cigarettes.
The number of cigarettes per day, whether it's the e-cigarettes or the regular cigarettes, the number of cigarettes per day was the most important factor, where, of course, higher number of cigarettes gave you higher number of toxins.
The exposure to these toxins carries risks of cancer, cardiovascular disease, reproductive problems, developmental issues, and respiratory harm. Researchers say smokers should be aware that dual use of these products is not safe.
I think the main thing to take away is that the less you smoke, the better.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And the CDC says most adults who smoke cigarettes want to stop, but less than 1 in 10 adults succeed in quitting in a given year. The agency says the keys to quitting include getting advice from a doctor, assistance and support from loved ones, and there are also treatments that can help smokers stop for good.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
What's going on, sports fans? We've got a cross-conference clash on the courts. It's the Royals and the Seahawks in Georgetown, Delaware.
The Seahawks doing the all-white jerseys for this one, and the Royals in their purple and white for this matchup. In the first set, Seth Mifflin gets the kill for Delmarva Christian. Later in the frame, Sussex Academy is on a roll, and Desmond Davis keeps it going on the free ball. Seahawks up 7-4. But Delmarva Christian battled Harrison Skolbach, smashes this one by the defense, and makes it a 2-point game. Fast forward, Royals now up 3, but Mac Lawson responds for the Seahawks with a strong kill, now an 18-16 Royals lead. Later, Seahawks on set point, and Lawson fires over an ace. Sussex Academy wins their first set of the season and goes ahead. Into the second, Royals back in front, and James Baxter's denial extends the Delmarva Christian advantage. Sussex Academy keeps hanging, though. Lawson drills another one by the Royals for the kill, but Delmarva Christian wins the set to tie it at 1 apiece. In the third, more defense from the guys in purple. Henry Ennis erases this kill attempt. Then it's Ethan Fells on the serve, and it's another ace. Royals win the third set 25-12. Seahawks start ahead in the fourth set, but not for long. Skolbach finishes the leather with another kill, and that would be enough in the end for Delmarva Christian. The Royals pick up their second win of the year, 3-1.
That's all for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Now here's a live look outside into Salisbury. We'll have one more check on the forecast coming up after this. Easter is right around the corner, and you can start your Easter Sunday with music and meaningful conversation if you celebrate with Sunrise Sermons 2025, The Final Sacrifice. Services begin at 7 a.m. on Coast Country, 9:30 a.m. on the Delmarva Sports Network, and 10:30 a.m. right here on Coast TV.
All right, let's take a look at our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury, 54 degrees right now. Winds will die down just a little bit for us actually in Salisbury, but we'll pick back up again quickly as we go into tomorrow. We'll drop down to 47 degrees with clear skies specifically in Salisbury. It's not like that for everybody, but it's happened like that for Salisbury. Wind advisory has been allowed to expire throughout the inland areas, but may be reenacted again. By the way, Gene Walters of Rehoboth Beach is our umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. It's updated 24/7. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstedt, Mandalis, and Federico. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, it's going to be extremely windy for Wednesday. Winds will die down in time to enjoy the sunshine on Thursday. Then temperatures start to climb.
All right, finally looking like spring on there. Thanks, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For some more local news and local weather, you can always find that on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.